Hi everyone, Brooke Reilly sitting here with Vice President for Student Experience candidate Katrina Manzari. Katrina, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So Katrina, you're running for Vice President for Student Experience. What made you decide to run for this role?
So I was on the Student Experience Committee this past year, and it's been so much fun. I love helping plan events like Ask Away, and the student experience is something I really care about.
And like you said, you've been on Student Experience Committee this year. Can you talk about some of the things that you've done initiative-wise based with the student experience or beyond in your past couple of years on SGA?
So this past year on SGA, I've worked on two, bigger picture initiatives of food insecurity within students, and then working towards getting an ethnic studies minor established at the school. So yeah.
And how do you feel that your time on SGA has prepared you for this role?
So being on the Students Experience Committee this past year has definitely prepared me for the role. And I've also been on since second semester of my sophomore year, and I'm a rising senior. So I've been on for a while, and I understand how it works. I know what the students like and what they don't, and I know how SGA needs to be run.
And one of the biggest roles for Vice President for Student Experience is to kind of keep Quinnipiac students engaged, keep them going with their organizations, things like that, and kind of make them all feel included. How do you plan to do this?
So again, I plan to host events like Ask Away. I also want to host a lot more like fun events, co-sponsored with the clubs and organizations that we charter. And I also want to highlight the clubs and organizations that we charter on our Instagram page and kind of have like a highlight of the week. This club's doing this club has accomplished this, and hopefully get students more involved, engaged. And then of course, again, social media is a huge thing. We recently held an Ask Away on our Instagram page, and that went really well. So continuing things like that.
And given the current situation, obviously everything's virtual since students can't be on campus at the moment. What are your plans to begin your role as Vice President for Student Experience if elected, if things continue to be virtual in the fall and throughout the summer?
So I think utilizing our Instagram page is definitely going to be a huge thing, along with our VP for PR. I think reaching out to students through surveys and continuing that as we do. And I also would like to host office hours if I'm elected, via Zoom. That would be something that I can use to reach out to students and see what they're expecting to see when they come back, things they want to see changed.
And what are some goals that you would have for this role?
So a few of my goals are obviously to boost up involvement, boost up our clubs and organizations. I also want to establish a better relationship with Greek life. I think it's a huge part of our student experience and something that SGA doesn't really get involved in too much. And I think that we could come together and really establish a better connection, get a lot more students involved. And I also want to work on anything the students want to see. That's a huge part of this role, is just putting my ear to the ground, seeing what students want. It's not about what SGA wants, it's about what everyone else wants about to improve their student experience.
And my last question for you, Katrina, is what makes you the best candidate for this role?
I think that I have the knowledge and background of, I'm a history major, I'm an anthropology minor, I'm a women's studies minor. I have that, understanding of, I guess, diversity and inclusion. I think that's something we can do better at the school. So I have that background in that, and that's a huge part of student experience. And I'm a super relatable person. I was a normal student before I was on SGA. I was only got on my sophomore year, so I kind of know what it's like to be that uninvolved student and also a super involved student, so I can play both sides.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, Katrina, and be sure to stay up to date with all of the candidates running for executive board positions for the Student Government Association on our website at q30tv.com/SGA 2020 elections, and follow us on social media at Q30 News.